Okay, so gentlemen, today the session will be talking, we're trying to address wastewater treatment technologies that are being used in developing countries, to develop countries and developing countries to address the sustainable development goal number 6, which deals with clean water and sanitation. So could maybe one of you guys just enlighten us about now what type of wastewater treatments technologies are available in Africa?
Well, there are several categories of wastewater treatment plants that African countries are using, but in general there are two. These are chemical, which usually use Fenton, what we call Fenton reaction, and also we have biological, which uses activated sludge. However, the most common type of wastewater treatment is biological one. Why do they prefer this one? It's because this is environmentally friendly, and at the same time it is relatively cheaper, as you might see our situation, our financial situation in our African countries.
So guys, based on maybe your experiences during the internship program at Hinoda Sandro, Japan, could you just maybe try to give us the basic principles of biological wastewater treatment processes, while also citing what you have seen or the innovations that you have encountered during your internship program?
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Kalema. So I'll be very simple for the purposes of people that are not technical in this particular field. So in very basic terms, conventional biological treatment techniques involve basically the use of the bacteria to degrade the organic matter that is present in the wastewater. So once you degrade this material present in the wastewater, you then add a few flocculants and sedimentation, depending on the need. And with that said, you would have achieved some good level of separation. Now, that's the conventional. That's the basic way in which it is all done all over the world. Now, you did talk about the part to say what is it that I've witnessed having successfully completed my internship. The opportunities that arise actually vast in this treatment process. For instance, Hinoda Sangyo has come up with a bacteria called Elbic-BZ that enhances this degradation process. That is one way they've been able to go around improving the efficiency of this particular process. Another way is to look at how is it that you can improve the amount of dissolved oxygen, for instance, in the system. Because once you enhance the amount of dissolved oxygen, then the bacteria has got sufficient oxygen on which that can use to improve the degradation process. So they came up with a specific aeration device called the Hinoda microbubbler that is able to increase the amount of dissolved oxygen and therefore improve the separation and efficiency. That's, in very simple terms, is what I've come across during my internship period.
Oh, very, very interesting, Mr. Schomburger. And maybe Mr. Mzingati, can you please just give us maybe examples of maybe just many brief maybe details about maybe how this LBZ bacteria Mr. Schomburger was talking about. Is it like the type of environment it is required for this bacteria to thrive? And is it only thriving in Japan, or it can also thrive in Africa?
So yeah, basically, indeed, a good environment for these microorganisms to thrive is required. So parameters such as good climate, so temperature and pH, being hydrogen, are quite vital for them to reach a certain activity that one is looking for. So, but to attain that, things like research and development firstly needs to take place, so as to suitably know the conditions of that area. Then I think in that way, after performing R&D, it will be easy for one to be in a better position to know the suitable conditions that these microorganisms can thrive on.
Very, very, very interesting. And I also have a question about maybe the device Mr. Schomburger was talking about. Can you just give us maybe an illustration of the advantages of what's the device we call what? H&B?
HLB.
Oh, yes. Can you please give us maybe something about the advantages of this innovative device?
So yeah, this is in a way quite simple but an effective instrument, so called HMB, developed by the Sanyo company. So it offers a vast varieties of advantages, but maybe at this point, just to mention a few. So it's a simple instrument or device to use, so it doesn't require maybe intensive skills. So an average person can be in a good position to use such an instrument. And second to that, it's easy to maintain and monitor in a way. And another advantage might be that it uses quite a very small area, so you don't need a large area to effectively use this instrument. So it uses quite a very small area. And energy-wise, so it uses quite a very small energy for it to work. So you can be in a best position to save even cost to some extent. Another advantage is that it generates quite less sludge as compared to other conventional methods. And maybe the last advantage I can mention is that it's easy to maintain, so cost-wise you save like drastically. So yeah.
So what we've gathered is that adapting this new technology can help us maybe efficiently treat wastewater in our countries, right? So you've also mentioned another area. Now we're talking about the bacteria, this microorganism, maybe LPPZ. Now we're talking maybe how do we incorporate, maybe introduce this type of bacteria or technology in our countries. You've mentioned you mentioned something about research and development. I think that is very key. Now it's where now this company can now introduce this type of maybe the processes towards generating this. Now we're talking education, and then we're talking research development. Now we're talking this company combining all of the efforts now to go to Africa to initially now treat wastewater, right? So another thing is this technology has been used in developing countries, not only in Japan, right? So there's this case study that was happening in the Philippines. So if Philippines can adapt this type of technology, it means that even Africa is more capable of now adapting this technology. And another feature that I would like to maybe conclude with is now we're looking at waste, maybe this wastewater, generation of sludge. So from what we have maybe incorporated or what we have learned, we have seen that this sludge, the waste sludge, can be used to generate energy, electricity. It can also be used for fertilizer. It can also be used for maybe now creating a byproduct in other senses. Maybe in the future, with your research and development, this technology or this sludge can be used for some other materials. And gentlemen, thank you very much for giving us this type of maybe informative session.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.